Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Eric, KJ4YZI. You're watching HamRadioConcepts. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to turn on notifications, follow along, listen to my podcasts, anywhere you hear your favorite podcast, HamRadioConcepts podcast. A lot different now with shorter episodes. And thank you to my sponsors at Ham Radio Prep, giving you the code ERIC20 to save 20% on any course you buy, including the All Access Pass. Gives you a discount to every course, get your Tech General and Extra, and have the Baofeng Basics course all at one package. Anything you buy on their website, ERIC20 is the code, save 20%. Thank you, Ham Radio Prep, for sponsoring me and my video endeavors. So this video is kind of funny because I've had this radio for the better part of over a year. Buy two-way radios, buytwoWayradio.com. Had sent this to me with an antenna. First, they donated prizes for our Ham Fest that we had a couple years ago on the Treasure Coast. Then I checked out a Wouxun GMRS handheld. Made a video on that. Then they sent me this, and this by far is still the most popular brute force professional style GMRS radio for mobile that you can buy. A full 50 watt GMRS radio with 1,000 memories, and you can receive all different kinds of bands, even AM aircraft, NOAA weather, VHF, UHF ham, and more. I'm sorry to buytwoWayradio.com for me first losing this when I moved a year ago, and then now I got it, and I'm waiting to change vehicles, so I haven't put it in service yet, but I've been dying to use this thing. Let's check out right now the Wouxun KG-1000G GMRS 50 watt mobile radio. So the KG-1000, the first thing I'm going to tell you is if you had this in your hand right now, you would understand the build quality of this radio. That's not me saying anything that anybody told me to say. I am familiar with the Wouxun or Wouxun or Wouxun or Wouxun, however you want to pronounce it. I am familiar with their build quality on the radios. You remember years ago, if you've been following along, I had the KG-UV950P, which was a quad band, FM only, 10 meters, 6 meters, 2 meter, and 440 radio. And it had the same build quality with the metal style chassis, the top fire and speakers, the fan on the back with the heat sink, a very, very solid built radio, okay? And I loved that radio. I worked Switzerland, South Africa, Australia on 10 meter FM in the mobile with 50 watts with that radio, and I was always amazed with it, never gave me a problem. So this is remnant of how they build their radios. Very, very solid. The cool thing about this is, and I'm going to have to hit the website to show you all the features. It is packed full. Here's the thing about this radio also. If you're interested in this, okay, the link is in the description to buytwoWayradio.com. I put the affiliate link in there, but listen, even a year later, since I got this from them and forgot to make the video, this radio constantly goes out of stock. It is very, very desired in the GMRS market. And for people that are hams that want to have a GMRS radio with the airband receive and VHF, UHF ham receive. This radio, when you see it in stock on that website, you got to get it. This is not, you could ask any person that's made a video on this. It's very hard. When COVID hit and all that, it really slowed them down. But right now, buytwoWayradio.com has this in stock if you click the link below. So if you're interested in this, I'm going to try to tell you why the price of this, even though they sent it to me with the Nagoya antenna. Thank you, buytwoWayradio. I'm going to tell you that this is my personal opinion on this, why it's such a good radio. Don't listen to me. Look at other YouTube videos. You'll hear the same thing. So the cool thing about this is you can mount this several ways. So it's got little feet on here. You can keep this on the desk like this. It doesn't slide. You could take this in the mobile with the remote head kit that it comes with, the cord, the extension cable, and you could pop the face off, mount the face on your dashboard or in your RV, and mount the base of the unit anywhere you want. A lot of times, manufacturers charge you extra for the, bracket, for instance, and the extension cable and all that. There's the plate there for the face. A lot of times, it's an extra feature. This comes with this radio, so if you're interested in mounting it several different ways, you can do that. All right. But again, with the fan on the back here, the dual speaker outputs on the back, right here under this rubber thing, SO239, and a nice display screen with the top buttons here, and it gives you a good enough screen to see here. Now, cool thing about this, with 1,000 channels or 999 channels, you can program alphanumeric for any of your repeaters. This is the way GMRS works. You may have a GMRS repeater in your area that may be 462.575, and you may have one north of you 20 miles for the same frequency, but the PL tone is different, CTCSS. What happens is, with something like a Midland or using Baofeng's version of a GMRS or TID radio or whatever, a lot of times, the Midland especially, they're pre-channelized and you can't program memories. And what that means is, every time you move into an area where you have a GMRS repeater, and it may be the same as channel 19 on the repeater input channel for GMRS, that's great. But then you got to stop, go into the menu, change the CTCSS tone, so you get out of range, do this. You can actually program all that stuff in here. If you're traveling, great. You can program all this in here and then have an entire Southeast or Florida, section of GMRS in here. And quite frankly, for 1,000 memories on GMRS, I don't think you're going to fill those up. I really don't. And then you can program, this is the Melbourne one, this is the Fort Pierce one, and then you have scan groups where you can scan certain groups on what you've programmed and have an alphanumeric videos scanning. Does it scan? What's the scan like? Well, I haven't personally tested to scan this yet, but the fact that you can scan different groups makes it great. And a lot of people are going to like that. It comes with everything you would think that you need. We're going to fire it up here soon and show you, but here is the, again, for having this for a year, I apologize, by two-way radio, but life got in the way. I forgot, then I saw it and just never got around to it. This mic resembles exactly the mic that I had on my KG-1000G. Always had good audio reports. Nobody ever said anything bad. Solid. It's got the PTT. Although this one is different. This has got a volume on top. I don't remember if my KG-1000G had a volume knob on the top. Backlit keypad with the light on and off. Lock it. And you can pretty much go through a lot of different functionality with the go into the menu and everything. Control it from the microphone. So that's pretty cool. One thing to note about this is this radio is not just it's not just another Chinese chip, radio on a chip manufacturer. This brand, and you can ask anybody, this is FCC type accepted. This radio is a super heterodyne style radio. So probably where the weight comes from and the build quality and the superb audio and stuff. Something like a Baofeng, or for instance, like one of these GMRS radios, basically they could do whatever they want with just this little chip on a board. They replicate this, and the board, they add the frequencies or functions they want, and away you go. This is a super heterodyne type transceiver, and that's why it gets its good name and its good price. You won't be sorry, and you'll understand the difference between this and a Chinese, Luton or a QYT. Those are way different than the structure of this radio. That's another important thing to note. Gives you your mic holder, your screws. I like how they include the mounting bracket. For some reason, manufacturers these days, that's an extra feature. ICOM does that. Actually, ICOM gave me the answer one time that said, the reason we don't include this is because a lot of times people are doing it DIY mount. So why put the extra money and raise the price? If they want the mount, they could buy it extra. This comes with it, the screws for it, okay? Fused power cord here. That's a T-style connector, fused. Let's see. Oh, here's another. Let's see. Is this the same one I just had? Yes, it is. Okay, so here's the mounting thing for the face, if you want to mount that on your dashboard. A couple of screws it includes. Okay. Oh, there is two. Okay, so one's for, I think, angled, and one is for straight, if you want to do that. Now, and here's your extension cord for the remote face, if you choose to use that. The manual on this thing, from what I have experienced over the years, is Wouxun or Wouxun or Wouxun, Wouxun, however you want. I always say that because people yell at me. They tell me I'm doing it wrong. Whatever, I don't care. They make a pretty decent manual that will tell you all about how to use the thing, okay? And it's not color, but I'm going to say, and I said this before, so I'm going to do it nicely. I said the word before, Chinglish. That was not a derogatory name. I meant to say that it was a Chinese company or person that was translated to English, and a lot of things were broken up in translation. Not the case with this. I'll read one for you. The transceiver includes 2 switchboard panels for the front display, an angled panel for an incline display, and a flat panel for a traditional display. The angled panel is installed by default. Okay. Before using a transceiver, you must correctly connect a properly tuned and installed antenna. To get the best results, be sure the antenna is tuned for the frequencies that you intend to use, and the antenna's impedance is 50 ohms. Using an incorrect or improperly installed antenna could harm the transceiver. Never attempt to transmit without an antenna connected. It's way, way better in the manual. So if you're one of those people that want to poo-poo on this because you think the manual sucks, not the case. A very easy to understand manual. Now, I don't normally do unboxing, but I wanted to show you. Oh, and I think, okay, this doesn't come with the programming cable, but the programming cable for this is like 10 bucks. I have one from my old radio, I think. I'll have to check that out in the box. But we're going to, maybe that'll be another video. If you really want a video on programming this thing, I'll show you that. But let me go ahead and wire this up to my bioenna battery here in the shack. And I don't have a GMRS antenna here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the menu on this and show you this. And when I get my new work truck, which I'm going from like a Transit 250 van to an F-150 four-wheel drive, and I got to redo all my antennas. So that's why I've kind of stopped in between with the mobile. I've been wanting to use this, and I love GMRS. And with 50 watts, with that Nagoya antenna that By2A Radio had sent me, I'd love to use this thing in between ham radio and CB radio. I use CB every day. I use ham every day. I want to use GMRS every day as I travel up and down the coast of Florida, and there's some GMRS repeaters I could talk on. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you this overview, and we'll come back to it because I want to show you an update on the Lincoln 2 Plus radio in there, which is for CB and 10 meters. I want to show you an update on this. I want to show you an update in my personal truck, the Uniden 885 Scanner CB Hybrid, which amazes me every day. I got a lot of updates I want to show you. Let me get you showing, on this radio here and what it is about, and then I'll give you audio tests and contacts afterwards. Try to keep this video a little bit closer to 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, so let me show you a couple things in the menu on how this thing ticks inside.
Channel mode.
It does have a couple of voice prompts for those who are visually impaired to let you know when you're on frequency mode or channel mode. Dual A and B over here, okay? And so that gives you 2 speakers on the top here. So you can actually listen to 2 separate, different GMRS channels. If you wanted GMRS 15 over here, and then you wanted, let's see.
027 000.
If you want GMRS 3 simplex, GMRS simplex over here, GMRS simplex 15 over here, or repeater channel on the left side. Right. There's your GMRS repeater channel 2 on this side out of this speaker, GMRS simplex channel 3 on this speaker. And the cool thing about this is you could, like I said, you also have FM radio, okay, some NOAA weather, as well as maybe on one VFO here you have, your scanning for VHF, UHF. Let's say you want to listen to VHF simplex. Then you have your GMRS on this side, and you can set it up different ways. 3 buttons on the top, A, B, C for programmable, so you can do a short press and a long press. You can set that up in the software. Software cable goes right here on the side where it says PC. So that's a USB to RJ45 cable. I'll put the link in the description of a cable on Amazon that should work for this, or also on By2ARadio.com. They have the cables as well. So the screen on the front is not hard to see. It's a liquid crystal display that's got a nice display on it. If you go into the menu, I'm going to turn this down. See independent volumes on each one. If you go in the menu, you're going to see a very reminiscent of Battlefang and some other radios. Step size, wide and narrow, maximum power set. Roger beep. We don't really use that. Keep that off. Unless you're using it for like FRS only between you and your friends at campsite, so that you can know who you are, different from the other people using those channels. There's 22 channels on GMRS, plus 8 channels that are set for repeater offsets. So you know, GMRS 1 through 7, then 8 through 15, 16 through 22. Then you have 16 through 22 again with a positive or negative offset for repeater operation. But a lot of things in the menu are very reminiscent. Busy channel lockout, speaker mute. You have timeout timer, a ring. I'm not sure. Some of these features we wouldn't use, like Compander and stuff like that. I guess you could encrypt, but you know, there's certain things that you'll probably never use in here. DTMF set, PTT ID. That would be interesting. PTT ID, so that you can see who it is you're talking to on the screen when the ID comes up. Receive LED, transmit LEDs, so you could change the colors of that. You know, you could edit, modify memory channels right in the menu. It's probably easier to do that with the software, like receive CTCSS and DCS for a different operation. Scan add, automatic power off as a timer in case you want to shut it off. Alert, companion, like I said, fan set if you want your fan to run always, or if you want it to run just when it gets over a certain temperature. Scrambler, you know, all kinds of stuff here that you're familiar with. Programming, you know, programmable button 1, 2, 3. All right, so you get the idea. The moral of the story is, it is a solid radio, and I can't, but just judging by the sound on this thing, like, that's loud. You're going to hear this in a vehicle.
Channel mode.
It's pretty loud when you're talking to somebody and you have this mounted, you know, if you want to mount it away from where you're at. Now, the thing I forgot to mention was if you want to use this microphone, because this is the way my KG-UV950 was, if you mount this under the seat in the back and you have the head remote on your dashboard, you can hear everything out of the speaker on the back of the microphone. That makes it a lot easier to hear when it's just sitting on your lap like this. This is the KG-UV10A microphone. And that sitting on your dashboard, you can hear everything that comes out of the speaker. And it gets
028.
Whoops, that gets quite loud. I remember having the UV950P, and I think that's how I used it, because I had this mounted in my Ford Escort. Ford Escort, we've come a long way, guys. And I had that thing right above the shifter handle in the middle, below the radio. I screwed it right to the dashboard, and I used it with this microphone and the speaker on the back. So you can set that in the menu to turn off the external speaker, these speakers here, or you could run an external speaker out of the back, like I said, 1 and 2, and you can run that up front and not use the speaker on this. All right, so several options that make it very user-friendly. So originally, buy2aradio.com had sent me this antenna to use with it. This is a Nagoya NL770G, which they recommend. GMRS frequency, 150 watts, less than 1.5 VSWR. And they sent me a mag mount. I can't find that. So they do have, of course, the antennas to use that. I did not get around. This is going to be the antenna that I'm going to use for that. But I want to show you something. Let's have a recap real quick on the Compact Tenna. And the reason I want to show you the Compact Tenna Scan 3 in this video, because I've already made a video on this, but this radio with the frequency ranges of AM airband receive and VHF, UHF 2 meter and 440 ham, GMRS, and even extended receive on that Wouxun or Ocean radio, this antenna right here will cover all those frequencies with just one 9-inch antenna. So if you're familiar with this antenna from my videos that I've done before, DX Engineering and Ham Radio Outlet have these. Some of them are out of stock again, but Dr. Jack made a video with me, a podcast with me. It was great, and he's developed really good antennas. But coincidentally, this right here, it's almost like he designed that for that Ocean radio, because this thing will definitely cover everything that that Ocean radio will do. So if you're space limited on your vehicle and you don't want an antenna like this, but you want to get on the fun of GMRS and receiving all those frequencies that it will do on receive, that's your next option right here. In the meantime, I want to try this thing out with that. And I also have one from Diamond. Now I can't find that since I moved, but Diamond come out with a GMRS antenna. I don't know where it is, but we're going to find it. It's got to be in that garage somewhere. All right, so let's take a gander here real quick, just because There's a lot of stuff that you could see on this website. All right. If I go to GMRS radios, and I go to the Wouxun KG. Let's see. I did check this one out in a video. Apparently, people like that after my video. That's what my wife uses now. That's hers. Right here. KG-1000G. It is in stock. Right here. Availability. So like I said, it's in stock. But look at the features. Let's look at this real quick. There's the antenna that they sent me there. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to read. The link is in the description. But right here, I forgot to even tell you. You can connect 2 of these to make your own GMRS repeater. How did I forget to put that in there? We're unscripted, guys. We're just, with the handheld that I have here that they sent me before that I did a video on, plus 2 of these with an interface cable between the 2, you can actually make your own GMRS repeater. You need probably a duplexer and sufficient antennas for that, but to make it good. But imagine having a GMRS repeater. So here we go. 30 GMRS channels. That's 22 plus the 8 repeater channels right here. 999 custom memory. So it's got 6-meter receive on FM, 2-meter receive. It's got 50 to 54, 108 to 180 receive. That's it's also got AM or FM radio. 320 to 350, 400 to 480, 700 to 985. All receive only. But as I said, that compact antenna Scan 3 will do all of that. Maybe they modeled that antenna from this radio. I'm not sure. AM aircraft receive 108 to 136. Built-in NOAA weather channels, repeater capable. Direct frequency mode, 8 group descrambler, 50 watts maximum transmit power, 4 transmit power levels, channel scan, priority scan, supports up to 10 scan groups. Simultaneous scanning on A&B VFOs. You can also have a CT, CSS, and DCS tone scan. So if you're not sure of the tone of the repeater you're trying to access, you can scan for it. My ICOM ID 7100 does that, and that's pretty good. It does that on ham repeaters as well. Wide and narrow. Repeater mode requires a second unit, of course. Let's see. Let's skip to the other ones here. 3-color selectable LED. And it's got channel name, edit, and display so that you have an alphanumeric, the Mouse House or Fort Pierce 575 or whatever you want to program it as. Let's see. All these here that you see, auto-detected AM transmissions. It's got dual 3.5 millimeter external speaker ports, dual speakers on top, PC programmable, incoming caller ID display. That's for your PTT ID. 3 configurable front panel buttons, A, B, and C. Backlit DTMF hand microphone with speaker, cooling fan, remote front panel installation option, as I showed you, DTMF encoding and decoding, and that's what you see there. So they also have, like, if you want to use this at home, a Wouxun or Wouxun 30 amp switching power supply with LCD display. You could use any power supply with this for 12 volts, but they do make one that specifically matches the radio. Okay, stuff like here's a farm radio base station kit. So I guess that's if you want to use this on a huge 30-acre farm, you could do that. So a lot of functionality and a lot of options for this. Let's look at a couple other things that they have, because I owe it to them after having this for a year and not even showing the radio over a year. So they do have antenna analyzers. Let's see what they got here. I haven't been through here in a long time on this site. They sell a whole line of Rig Expert right here. You could actually go to gigaparts.com if you're interested in a Rig Expert and go to my page. You get HRC code. You get 5% off any of the Rig Experts, by the way. Consumer radios. They have Cobra Midland. They have CB radios, airband radios, marine radios, scanners, multi-use radio service, weather radios. Buy2wayradios.com has quite a bit of stuff. Let's see what they got in amateur and ham. They got TYTs. They got Wouxun. They have VGC, the 50-watt dual-band mobile radio with app programming. 980. Oh, okay. So this must be new. The one I had, I thought was a KG-UV950. Yes. So this is the new one, and this one did actually have, I forgot, cross-band repeat. I'm going to put a link to the affiliate link in here as well in my video, because I remember being able to cross-band on one of my radios from 2 meters to 10 meters. That was pretty fun. Talk to 10-meter FM through my 2-meter handheld. So you have crossband repeat built in at 329. And again, on 10 meters, I did work across the world on FM for 10 meters. So the Wouxun, this is also FCC approved, and their radios are quite the radio. You know, you're getting what you pay for here. This is not a Baofeng. Don't leave a comment to say it's just another Chinese piece of crap. These are actually, and go ahead, when you're done with this video, go to look at other videos on this brand, and you're going to be very surprised at the positive outlook on these radios. I promise you that. So buy2wayradios.com has a lot of antennas for mobile and portable, base station antennas. Check them out. I'll put some links in the description on things that I've had before or things I've showed you on video, and you can look at that. So thank you to Buy2Way Radios for sponsoring our Hamfest a couple years ago with door prizes, radios and antennas and more, and for sending these to me for videos, even though it's a year and a half later. Anyways, thanks to buy2wayradios.com for sending me this. I apologize to them for being a year and a half late. This thing sat in the box for a year and a half. My mistake. But if you click the link below, you're going to either see it's in stock and you're going to want it, or it's not in stock and it may be 2-3 months. And so that was one reason that I started to make a video, or I wanted to back months ago. I was like, oh man, they're out of stock. Every time I make a video and stuff is out of stock, people get mad because I show them something, they want it, they can't find it. Right now, it's in stock. Apparently, there's enough models for however many need to order it, but not a pallet full, I guess. Maybe there's a pallet full. I don't know. I haven't talked to these guys in over a year and a half, probably because I haven't made the video. So let's hope that that is forgiven. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thank you to Ham Radio Prep again for being my sponsors. Check out my podcast. I just talked about GMRS again on my podcast. Look on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, Audible, Amazon, Deezer, Spotify, so many more. HamRadioConcepts podcast, just 15-minute episodes. And they also gave me a code EricPodcast20 on Ham Radio Prep. That's the same as Eric20, but people listening are now listening to my podcast and using Ham Radio Prep to get their ham radio license, using Eric Podcast 20 or Eric 20 on the videos. So Ham Radio Prep is a great sponsor of mine. And thanks to Buy2Way Radio. Thanks to Dr. Jack for all the antennas. I got one coming up, the shortwave antenna. I just showed you the compromised small form factor CB antenna from Compact Antenna, but I'm dying to try out the shortwave one to see if that really does work. That's pretty much it. 7-3, everybody. Thanks for watching. More videos and podcasts are on the way. This is KJ4YZI.